morning. It's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but we're live because A, I missed you. B, I'm just sitting and refreshing my feed to see if we get information from a jury. And I figured we could all do that together. Also, that motion got published. I have thoughts. Would you like to know my thoughts? I have thoughts about this motion. I have thoughts about what happened. I have thoughts about what should have happened. And I'm in the middle of prepping my bonus podcast episode covering closing arguments because I didn't want the episodes to get too long. And my episode on week 6 was already an hour long. So I'm like, we're just doing a 2-part episode. Also, it is June 1st. That is the official beginning of Pride Month. So happy Pride. It is Pride Month. The Law Nerd Pride stuff will be back up. Distribution's hard right now. But we will have stuff back up and be donating to the Trevor Project like we did last year. So it's great to see you. Let me know where you're coming in from. And I'm still rocking a mega pint of coffee here in Middle Tennessee. So it's great to see all of you. It's great. It's great. It's great. All right, we're gonna go through this motion. We're gonna answer questions. We're gonna verdict watch, and we're gonna see what happens. Oh, and I think we're probably gonna hit 600K. I'm nervous to even roll the intro. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna live on the wild side. Lawyers hate risk. I'm gonna roll it. I'm gonna roll the intro. Y'all, thank you for being here. Thank you for being Law Nerds. This is happening right now. Hey there. If we haven't met yet, I'm Emily D. Baker, the badass lawyer and everyone's favorite legal commentator. I'm the host of The Emily Show, and I break down the legal shit behind the news and pop culture stories we all want to talk about. I have been a licensed attorney for over 15 years, but this is not legal advice. I should warn you, I'm a big fan of the cursey words. This channel is where the law nerds unite to talk about facts, not fuckery. Oh, so many Canadian law nerds. No wonder our chat is so nice. It's the Canadians are having a positive influence. Such a positive chat. You guys, when I say that I am blown away by everything that's happened in the last few weeks, not just on this channel, but the fact that this many of you have been interested not just in the law that's going on and not just in the inner workings of a celebrity relationship, but in the how the jury process works and having a conversation and being able to have some fun, and that fun staying within kindness, or at least that's what we're trying to do. And that happened. We did it. The road to 600K happened. People are like, what are your goals for your channel? I'm like, talk to the law nerds, figure out how much more we can stream, and keeping the greatest place on the internet to have a conversation. Like, that's the goal for the channel. Thank you guys. Yay. We did it. We hit 600K. Do my kids think I'm an impressive YouTuber yet? No, they don't. They think it's cringy. Well, my oldest thinks it's cringy because some of his friends and or their parents and or all have watched my channel. And he's like, Mom, it's weird. They watch you. I'm like, Travis, we have like upwards of 100,000 people on stream. Sometimes people watch me, but it's cool. I like it. It's great. We get to have these conversations. So it just, thank you. And I've been just incredibly blown away by the fact that as this channel has grown, that this community has just stayed true to its values and has been a place where people can come together in the chat and know that we're talking about this case and know that we are talking about it. Yes, we're going to have some fun, especially when talking about the lawyers, but that we're also going to be compassionate to the people involved in this case, even the lawyers, even when it's hard, and that we stick to the no-name calling, that this is a place to have a chat, that this is a place where, people are people, and you're welcome if you're welcoming. If you're not welcoming and you come in and troll my chat, you're going to get booted immediately. So we just keep it really the simple, like, don't be a dick. How hard is that to just be a nice human and not be a dick? It just doesn't seem like that radical of an idea to have a chat that is having discussion without making fun of people's looks or calling names. And that didn't seem like it was such a wild thing to me. It was just what I wanted for my channel and the places I wanted to be in the internet. And I'm old. And so I enjoy like the old school, like AOL chat rooms when, before all of the internet became totally wild. It felt like where my group of friends and I that were all over the country could get together and just touch base. And I've always wanted that channel to feel like that, where friends from all over the world can just touch base and have a conversation and just be with their community. And as this channel started to grow, I always felt like I found my people. And I hope that this channel has helped you find your people too. People that want to talk about pop culture, people that want to talk about actually the law that's happening, but also the pop culture of it all, that want to have serious conversations, but not take all of it so seriously, and be able to have a little bit of fun while we have very real conversations about the law that governs our lives. And so you can understand what those laws are and maybe make change where you see it, because we've covered cases where you're like, why is the law doing that? That's weird. And it's like, we can pick better people to make the laws, because this is our, for those of us in the US covering these US cases, we get to shape our country the way that we see the world. And I've definitely tried to shape this channel in a compassionate way, because I think we can all see each other as humans and have compassion for them. It pinged. So it binged to 600. Do we need to bing before I start to cry? We need to bing before I start to cry. Thank you, Lorianne. Boundaries are really, really important to me, and they've not always been easy for me to set. And I try not to put myself in situations where I'm going to be uncomfortable calling someone out if they violate my boundaries. I really try to make sure that this channel is a place where the boundaries are understood. And it's not just boundaries, it's values. And that doesn't mean we all agree. We don't all have to agree, but it means there's just some fundamental values of coming at it from a place where even if we disagree, it's like, well, why do you think that? And it comes from a place of curiosity and trying to understand where someone else is coming from, and not just attacking somebody because they disagree. And it's why I choose to cover the cases that I do, because some cases it's easier. It's easier to have that conversation. And I know it's easier to have that conversation around celebrity, around Real Housewives, around pop culture. It is harder to have that conversation around much more divisive topics. But even this case has gotten divisive in the legacy media. And that's been fucking wild to me, because this chat comes from all walks of life, all countries, all across the world. I know that we don't all see things the same way on a granular level, which is a beautiful thing. And a lot of us see this case the same way. It's not a divisive case. It's a conversation. And the media trying to make it a divisive case really pissed me off throughout my coverage of this case, because the headlines and what we saw in court don't always match. It doesn't mean we can't have understanding and compassion, but we still get to ask questions when things don't match in court, and talk about why that is, and talk about some of the things that have gotten wild in court. So I'm going to pull up some super chats. I'm going to try not to cry. We are going to bing. Thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for finding your tribe here too. And thank you. This was a big bing. I mean, they've all been big bings. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm truly humbled and overwhelmed. And thank you for choosing to spend some of your time that is really the most precious thing we have with me. Oh, it binged! Move your head! Ah! And I know how much it matters, how much where you choose to spend your time and your energy shapes your days and shapes your lives. And it really does just blow me away that so many of you choose to spend that time, not just with me, but with the law nerd community. So thank you. You guys are just absolutely amazing. Did I tell you that I almost got sanctioned from a judge once for saying you guys to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury? I grew up in Southern California. You guys it's like y'all. It's y'all. I love there's a print shop here in Nashville that has a beautiful line of y'all means all shirts and merchandise. It's a completely LGBTQ owned print shop. I'm going to have to link them. But they have beautiful y'all means all shirts and hats. And that's also how I felt about you guys growing up. It was just like, you guys is what I said to all of my friends, regardless of gender. It was just you guys. And so I said you guys to a jury once, and a judge lost her ever loving mind. And I was like, okay, we've got a bit of a, okay, I will, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. But now I'm like, can we get to like, back to like y'all of the jury? Can we do that to people, jury people? Can we get to yay jury people? I don't know. Anyway, judge lost her mind on me for saying you guys. Called three of my supervisors, my calendar deputy, my assistant head deputy, and my head deputy, to yell at them about the fact that I had said you guys in court. It's still you guys. It's fine. Thank you, Ellen. All right, let's get to, I know I missed some super chats rolling through as I was chatting. I'm impressed at how your explanations are light speed and yet completely clear and easy to understand. I don't know if that's always true, but I'm going to take it and go with yes, thank you. That is a tremendous compliment, and I appreciate you. I'm going to get to questions in a minute. The DUI guy, that's tremendously generous. Good to see you. Aren't you streaming? I thought I saw you streaming this morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's incredibly generous. And thank you. Yes, I can't believe we hit 600K. Kerwin said, thank you, Emily, for showing our justice system to the rest of the world. You're welcome. This has been an amazing experience for me. And I work in the legal system as a forensic nurse examiner. Oh, you do hard cases. Thank you for the work that you do. For the Make a Coffee Fund, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Was there a jury instruction about metadata? No, there wasn't. I'm going to get to some of the celebration super chats, and then I'm going to get to questions as we get into this. So Jessie Lynn, oh my God, that Scales of Justice is beautiful. My Scales of Justice down here with Lady Justice. I love this Lady Justice statue. She was given to me by my grandfather when I graduated from law school, and she has the biggest feet, which is on my side of that side of the family. My brother and I have massive feet. I'm not going to get into feet because then it's going to be a thing on the internet, because you can't say feet on the internet without it being a thing on the internet. I'm aware. I have huge feet. My brother has huge feet. And this Lady Justice has massive feet. And it was one of those things. She has a badass sword, her Scales of Justice, and just gigantic feet. And it makes me so happy. It just made me feel so seen as a woman with large feet. I felt so seen by that, which is part of the reason why I stick to sneakers so much, especially after my spinal fusion. It just makes life easier. So thank you, Jessie Lynn. I love your Scales of Justice. It prompted a story about my Scales of Justice. If you guys wanted to see more about my office, there is a ton, not a ton. There are behind the scenes photos in that LA Times article that I've shared. And so I'm going to try to get to some of the non-question super chats I see you guys saying, Travis, your mom is cool. He's never going to believe that. He's just not going to believe it. Because I'm his mom. And so I'm always going to be slightly cringy, though he loves me. I'm his mom, and I can be a cringy mom. I sing at random times. Thank you, RG, Rebecca. There's plenty of room to have vitriol on the internet. I feel like that's what a lot of the internet is. Being able to create a space that's not that is not always easy, but it's important to me. The jury already went to lunch, huh? Interesting, jury people. That was earlier than yesterday. Let's see. That's earlier than yesterday. So I see jury on lunch break until 12:45 Eastern. So they're taking a quick lunch break, but they'll be on lunch, for a half an hour from now. So, all right. Yes. And I see those tweets. So thank you guys. I just received my grumpy mug today. I love it. Oh, if you post it on social, tag me or just DM me so I can see it. Tara said, hello from the Philippines. It's midnight here, but your girl is watching. Congratulations. Thank you so much. I know you guys come in from all over the world. It's amazing. Congrats on 600K. Happy Pride Month. Law nerds, absolutely. Congrats. I remember when we hit 100K. Sarah, it feels like it wasn't that long ago. We hit 100K last May. And I was like, yes, it's time. 100K celebration was purple hair. It's time for purple hair. I'm ready. And that was a year ago. To go from 100K to 600K in a year, and really from 200K to 600K in like a month and a half it just doesn't it still hasn't, like, my brain has not wrapped around it yet. One of your favorite writers is a law nerd. I just fell out. Shout out to Susan Tisdale. I have seen so many people that I admire that are like, "Oh my god, I'm watching your channel." I'm like, "Don't tell me that it's good." I'm nervous. Like, it still makes me nervous that I know creators I admire, like, Simply Nailogical and Bailey Sarian and iJustine watch my channel. When people I grew up cheering for, like Amy Van Dyken, watch my channel, it just makes me squishy. Like, it makes me nervous because, um, there are so many creators that I just admire so much, and to see them commenting on this trial and commenting on my channel, just the support of the LawTube and the YouTube community as a whole has been tremendous. And I've always wanted to be a part of YouTube. When I started having back issues with my spinal fusion, I started posting on YouTube as a way to find community. That's why I started in the tech space. Couldn't talk about law. Was still a district attorney, was nervous about being on the internet, but really just looked to connect and started connecting on channels like Easy Computer Solutions, where I would do tech streams with other tech YouTubers. I was always the one like, what's that? What's Android? You- because I'm such an iPhone, I'm such an Apple diehard girl. So I would just bring in the Apple fangirl perspective and have a conversation with creators that I enjoy and respect. And YouTube has always been about community for me. So to be able to build that community around law and pop culture, I just, I just, I just don't have words for it. So I'm going to try to pull up all the super chats if I can. I've got it. The chats came in. You guys, thank you. I mean, there are 85,000 of us here. So it is, it does they get a little buried, and I'm sorry. So, all right. I think I got to where I was meant to be. And now we're going to be able to pull up some more of these, and then we're going to get to questions. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you so much, Lizzie Beth. I appreciate that. I'm trying to weed out the questions, and I will get to questions. Caroline, that's tremendously generous. Thank you. This feels like a huge milestone because it's like that tick over towards 1 million, and it blows my mind. So, Brianna said, here's my daily morning super chat, doing all of the chanting and meditation to manifest a just and fair verdict and adding extra focus to getting it today. What's your caffeine flavor of choice? Coffee. Well, coffee and frou-frou coffee. Today's bulletproof coffee. I have different varieties of frou-frou coffee. I'm going to get to questions in just a second, so I will come back. Those are saved. Peggy, can't afford much. You don't have to afford anything, but thank you. It's why, even when we're on subscribers mode for chat, it really just cuts down on the bots, and the bots are a problem on the YouTube. It's one of those things where it's like, but the bots can actually impact the reach of streams. So we are on subscribers mode to cut down on that, which is fine for me. But it's free, and I try to keep as much of my content free as I can. Thank you so much. My family has been tremendously supportive during a very, very busy week. Rachel, which Louis are you getting to congratulate yourself? I have no idea. I think we might be getting more team members on this one because the channel is growing and taking on the people that I work with and have worked with, and expanding their roles on Team Baker is one of the things we're doing to celebrate. So my cousin Marissa R is a big fan of yours. Can you shout her out? Hey, Frank's cousin Marissa, you rock. Cheers. Thank you, Frank. We're going to get to a few more, and then I promise we're going to get into that motion that I have thoughts about, because I have thoughts about it. It's great to see you guys coming in from all over the world. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're on the road. I don't know. Are we on the road to 650? I guess that's where we're at. I try to break it down into small chunks. I don't know what to do. I break it down into small chunks. So thank you. It's great to see all of the flags in the chat. It's really fun. One of my former coworkers at the DA's office, when she reached out around my book, shared that she's writing a book about her experience as an LGBTQ district attorney. And I cannot wait to be able to share it and see what she has to say about what her experience was like in the office. And the office has changed a lot, but political offices change slowly. Jonathan said, my personal trainer and I just love watching you. Yes, I feel like your personal trainer is probably like, oh, they're distracted watching Emily, 5 more. And by 5 more, they always mean like 10 more. Trainers always do that. They're like, oh, just like 3 more. And then you're like, that, I swear that's been 9. Thanks so much for the company and insight. You're welcome. Virginia here. You're welcome. And so many of you have reached out saying that this has become part of your morning routine. And they're like, what do we do if you're not streaming? And I'm like, I don't know. We got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. We just have to figure it out. I remember when we hit 100K, I do too. So thank you. Okay, now I'm getting back to where I needed to be in the chat. I'm trying. James from Core Tweet, Jury Lodge. Okay, good. Now I know that I'm caught up because we're circling back around the horn. Circling back around the horn. I don't think I'm going to hit 1 million by next week, Eve. You're welcome to put it out. You are welcome to put it out to the universe. I don't know about that. I witnessed the flip. Was there jury instruction? We talked about that. There was not a jury instruction. We went over all the jury instructions yesterday. Greetings from Australia. Have you heard the Jack Sparrow Niffin song parody or the Dolly Parton Jolene new Johnny song? Both are creative and the Jack Sparrow is addictive to listen to. I have not heard them yet. I've heard the objection hearsay one a lot, but I will, if they're on the TikToks, I will go look for them. I love Jolene. It is one of the most beautiful songs. I also love Miley Cyrus's cover of Jolene. It's fantastic. Liz N said, thank you for being a great source of understanding of this trial without the gross misogyny I've seen so much of. You're doing great work. I think there is a way to have questions about testimony without it being gross. There just has to be. Because again, at the end of the day, I think Amber Heard is a very very difficult person to have on trial for her lawyers and probably for herself. This is when she said, this is the worst thing. I don't want to be here. I absolutely believe her. This is the worst thing. I don't want to be here. I believe you. But her recitation of how things happened and everything else just doesn't match. And that's a conversation to have because this is a court of law, and that's the conversation to have. I just think you can do that without dehumanizing people. Tammy said, I just watched UI Guy, switched over here and saw a super chat. I guess he finished streaming. I'm going to guess that. It's been fun to bounce around and support other people's streams. I did not have a lot of stream bouncing this morning because I had, there's some work that still has to be done, and I have to get on a plane tomorrow, which might have just doomed this verdict to come in tomorrow. It feels like verdicts come down when I'm on a plane. I scheduled it though after court was done. So I feel like I'm going to trick the universe of my bad luck of shit going down when I get on a plane by getting on a plane after the jury goes home for the night. That's my goal. Marta said, saying hi to as many law nerds. Hello, Central Illinois. Hello, Australia. Hello, California. Hello, Puerto Rico. We also need to be charitable to Amber Heard because while she did horrible things, she's clearly a broken person that desperately needs help. P.S. Love your response to learning Runkle doesn't drink coffee. I was surprised Runkle didn't drink coffee, but then when he explained why, I was like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. I mean, I didn't drink coffee in law school. I lived off of Diet Coke until it started giving me migraines. And then I had to find another caffeine delivery source. And coffee is what I settled with. So that is where I settled. All right, we should get into this. Replay crew, I haven't said hi. Love you. Thank you. There will be timestamps down below. Viral Flow Art said, oh my God, congratulations, 600K. Can you send good vibes to my BFF Sal? He's about to have major surgery and it would make his month. Thank you for your infinite coolness. We love you. Well, I'm cringe at my house, so I'll take the infinite coolness in my own chat. Sal, you are going to pull through amazingly. Here's to a speedy recovery. Don't overexert yourself. Don't feel like you should be doing more. Rest, hydrate, take care of yourself. Trust in the doctors that they have you and that you are going to be amazing. Cheers. So yes, I'm happy to send good vibes. Always happy to send good vibes. All right, let's get into this motion. I am going to try. Grass folks said your references are my references. I feel so seen. I had to comment on this because I know that last night Joe Neerman was going through and watching some of the compilations of LawTube and was like, what is Emily doing? And I was like, snaps for Elaine. Joe, I know you've never been in a sorority. It's kind of a sorority thing that then spilled over into Legally Blonde. And so in Legally Blonde 2, it factored a little bit more heavily with snaps being a positive, but it is not two snaps in a Z formation over here. Though I do know what two snaps in a Z formation are because I'm old AF, but I can't snap in a Z formation because I'll always hit my mic. So I've stuck to the Legally Blonde snaps. When I'm saying something positive, these snaps are when I am annoyed. These are my stop it snaps. That's my, I would, if the mic didn't get so loud, I'd be like, stop. But yeah, that's what that is. So those snaps, there are two types of snaps on the channel, but they are not snaps in a Z formation. You are welcome to keep the Z formation. I know that you don't hit your mic when you do it. I will wreck myself doing it. Have you seen the close-up handwriting video? Amber Heard wasn't actually writing anything on the paper. Allison, funny that you say that. There was a share on attorney memes yesterday on Instagram. I put it in my Instagram stories. And when they zoom back out, you can see my background. So they zoomed back out of Amber Heard and you could see the purple gavels. And I was like, oh, someone at attorney memes, an account that I love, must have watched this channel at least a little bit. Did you see Queen Curry tweeted you? I did not. I'll go look. Yay. We've had a lot of followers lately on the Twitter. I don't know what happened, but yes. No, I'm not going to live stream from the plane. I'm not going to live stream from the plane. It's not allowed. You can watch. You just can't stream. So, all right, we should get into that. I'm going to keep saying hello though. Journey Jam said, congratulations, Emily, best commentator, 100%. Also, hello to Skippy Squirrels, who are all watching live as well. Hello to them. Do you think is the verdict announced today? I don't know. Could you please give your opinion on Chu's motion yesterday? Hend, thanks for pulling us back on topic. I appreciate that. Yes, I can. We should just do that now. I'm going to save super chats as much as I can. Me also not doing that. Better with the Irish. You are so welcome. I am here. There's also a new episode of the Emily Show today. So when we stop streaming for today, then you will have the opportunity to go and have more Emily on the Emily Show. The video will be up. I think I will make it live tomorrow because I want to be able to do a premiere of it to be in the chat with y'all. And I have not had a chance to do that yet. So let us go. Colleen said, I love that I found your channel through this trial, fellow ADHDer returning to school, and your testimony about perseverance is invaluable. Thank you. Shout out to my mom and sister, Robin and Haley from Huntsville, Alabama. Shout out, Colleen. Yes, you can do it. No, it's not easy. Is anything really easy? Nothing in life's easy. Walking in high heels isn't easy. Like literally making my hair stay straight in humidity is not easy. Nothing's easy, but it's worth it. And there's varying levels of hard, and it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. All right, let's get into this motion. I have thoughts. And then we're going to get to questions. So I should swoop. I should get back to like how I normally used to live stream because how I normally used to live stream was this. And I used to be able to do things. Let's get into this motion that let me back up and give a road so far. Yesterday, the jury had a question. The jury's question was very interesting. I did a quick bit on my Quick Bits YouTube channel and a reel and a TikTok. So it's on the social medias about that jury question. A lot of you were here live when that jury question came in. It seemed like they were going through the jury instructions and had gotten to the question of whether the headline itself is the alleged defamatory statement or whether that headline meant to be taken into context the entire op-ed. So can we find that the headline's the defamatory statement, or do we have to find the whole op-ed's defamatory? That seemed to be the question. And the judge was like, the headline is the statement. The chattel is the nose. The headline is the statement. The chattel is the dog. The headline is the statement. And after that, the judge said, Mr. Chu, I got your motion. I'm not ignoring you, but I'm kind of ignoring you. And that said something like, the case is already with the jury. I don't know if there's anything I can do or there's nothing I can do, but was saying, I've seen your motion, but what would you like me to do? And so it wasn't until later in the day that the motion became available on the interwebs, on the public site. And now we have the motion to talk about. The shit's already out of the horse on this one. I don't think there's much Judge A can do, though I'm annoyed by it. I think there's not much that Judge A can do. So let me see. All right. Plaintiff John C. Depp's objection to improper argument and motion for curative instruction and revised special verdict. That's a weird way to say anything. Revised special verdict form. Plaintiff Depp, through his undersigned counsel, moves the Honorable Court to strike defendant's inappropriate argument made during closing on May 27th, instruct the jury to disregard the inappropriate argument. Shit's out of the horse on that one. And revise special verdict form with respect to Depp's affirmative claims against Heard to conform to the language adopted by the court in the jury instructions. That I'm most interested in. But let us go to the next. That's just the notice of motion. Hey, we're moving. We have a motion. We're moving for things. Your Honor, this is what we're doing. I prefer it when they're just all together. But that's generally governed by local rules. So there is a 23-page motion that we are going to pop through as we see that there is still nothing happening in court. So we are here to do this. Memorandum in support of objection to improper argument. I will just say argument during closing should be made during closing. Just that's when it gets made. Plaintiff Depp, through his undersigned counsel, moves this court to strike defendant's inappropriate argument, and that was in their notice of motion. Argument. The court should provide a curative jury instruction during closing arguments on May 27th. Counsel for Heard told the jury that their decision in this case, he did do this. So during closing arguments, May 27th, counsel for Ms. Heard told the jury that their decision in this case would send a message to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere. Counsel for Ms. Heard also stated a ruling against Amber here sends a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you always have to do more. No matter what you document, you always have to do more. No matter whom you tell, you always have to tell more people. No matter how honest you are about your own imperfections, your own shortcomings in a relationship, you have to be more perfect in order for people to believe you. Don't send that message. That's what Mr. Depp wants you to send. This is improper argument. This argument could have been, to the jury, what you are telling Miss Heard, if you rule in favor of Depp, is that for Miss Heard, no matter what she did as a victim, nothing was enough. This could have been narrowed down to just talking about this case and just talking about Miss Heard. It could have been narrowed in that way. But it's not being narrowed in that way. And that is part of the problem here. So it could have been narrowed down. It wasn't narrowed down. So with it not being narrowed down, it is asking the jury to consider the larger societal implications of this. You are sending notice to all victims everywhere. That's not what this case is about. This case is about defamation between these two people. And you hear in the jury instructions, it says that they are specifically not allowed to consider the larger societal implications. The appropriate thing to do then would have been to say, objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. But they didn't. I thought that the argument here, if they had said, a ruling against Ms. Heard sends a message to Ms. Heard that no matter what you do. But trying to make it larger is tough because that's asking them to consider societal implications, which they can't do. So they're saying the court should provide a curative jury instruction. It's too late. It's too late. It's too late. They needed to object during the closing at the time. I don't know why they didn't. During closing arguments, counsel for Ms. Heard told the jury that their decision in this case would send a message to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere. And you know what? Should Johnny Depp's team, this would have also been an improper argument. Does it flip around and say, well, finding against Johnny Depp sends a message to abusers everywhere. They couldn't have done that. Not at all. Counsel for Ms. Heard also stated that a ruling against Amber sends a message that no matter what you do as an abuse victim, you have to do more. The remarks made by Ms. Heard's counsel to the jury improperly invite the jury to focus on a larger societal objective beyond the case. And then they cite case law talking about that, about sending messages to the community, et cetera, et cetera. Such argument by Heard's counsel improperly invites the jury to decide the case based on passion and prejudice, and a specific jury instruction is necessary to cure this impropriety. There's already a jury instruction that says that. There's already a jury instruction that says they can't decide this case based on passion or prejudice. I think calling attention to it now is a problem. I think that this is something I see in civil law, not so much in criminal law, because in criminal law, there's like larger constitutional implications, and prosecutorial misconduct is like a huge fucking problem that can have not just career ramifications, but case ramifications. There's a lot more to protect in a criminal case when there's fuckery afoot. I feel like from my experience in civil, that civil attorneys will kind of push the boundaries a little bit more, depending on what the judge will do in the name of zealous advocacy. You're not supposed to break ethical violations, but I think their zealous advocacy gives some a lot of leeway to be like, it's proper argument. It's not. And we saw this on Team Heard a few times during closing. Elaine got admonished 3 times, it seems, for argument that she had to walk back during closing. She misstated the law with regard to actual malice. But the court also said, counsel move on, but didn't do anything. So what's the downside for attorneys doing this? The judge has to step up and do something. The thing is, if this isn't objected to in the moment, there's nothing the judge can do other than, admonish the counsel afterwards and be like, that was improper argument. Now you know. So it does invite the jury to go against the jury instructions. I agree. Depp hereby requests that the court instruct the jury to disregard the argument. They've already disregarded it. They had a 3-day vacation. They had a 3-day break. So okay. Mr. Depp requests that the court instruct the jury to disregard this argument and read the instructions as reflected in the proposed order submitted. And we'll go to those instructions in the proposed order. The court has the discretion to give this curative instruction. Again, this should have been objected to at the time, and I don't think they preserve it for appeal by not objecting to it at the time. Maybe they're trying to preserve it for appeal by objecting to it now. It's like, I did my job. I wrote it down. I had to. The end. Mr. Depp's request for this curative instruction during deliberations is substantively similar or substantially similar to the curative instruction Justice McCullough advocated for in his dissenting opinion in Maxwell. See Maxwell v. Commonwealth. Reading is hard. The jury should correct the verdict form to conform to the jury instructions. This is what I'm interested in, because the shit's out of the horse on the other stuff. I say it a lot, but the bells, some people say you can't unring the bell. You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. It's already done. The jury's already heard it and they've already moved on. No point in getting back to it. And again, unfortunately, they have to object at the time. And I don't know if they were thinking it wouldn't be, I don't know. I don't know why they chose not to object at the time, but they chose not to. They're trying to preserve it now. I don't think there's much that can be done. The jury form, I'm curious about. Mr. Depp requests minor corrections made to the special verdict form with respect to Mr. Depp's affirmative claims. To conform to the language adopted by the court in the jury instructions, Mr. Depp's proposed changes to the verdict form are necessary to correct an inconsistency between the jury instructions and the verdict form that could confuse or mislead the jury. This is interesting. And merely track the substance of the court's prior rulings. Specifically, the question in the verdict form reads, the statement was false. Should be modified to consistent with the language adopted by the court in the finding instructions as reading, the statement about Mr. Depp was false. That's interesting. Hold on. Let me pull up the verdict. I want to look at the verdict form. We're going to just do it all together. Let's look at the verdict form. So the verdict form, this is the special verdict form. The verdict form simply says the statement was false. So let's go to the finding instruction that the jury was asking about yesterday. And the finding instruction says, The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. Well, y'all, the finding instruction 3, the statement was false. 2, the statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. No, those match. Those match. Don't those match? Am I missing something? Those match. The finding instruction says the statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. The special verdict form says the statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. I think they match. I think they match. I think they match. I think that's the exact same language. I don't think there's a discrepancy between the two. I don't think there's a discrepancy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then on the special verdict form, it's, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the statement was false. You guys are saying it adds a word. All right, let's go see. It adds a word. The statement was false. This says the statement is false. Okay, I agree with the difference between is and was. But I don't know if I agree with the statement about Mr. Depp was false because the finding instructions, he's saying the finding instructions to read as the following, the statement about Mr. Depp was false, instead of the statement is false. So he's asking to change this. The statement is false. You guys are saying also and. Yeah, they don't add the ands here. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false because they're saying yes or no on these. And I think that's why they're not adding the and. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement is false. So is was. The statement is false. The statement was false. But they want to add additional language. The question on the verdict form reads the statement was false and should be modified consistent with the language adopted by the court in the finding instructions to read as follows. The statement about Mr. Depp was false, which is different because that's asking for more. In addition, the order of questions in the verdict form should be adjusted slightly to conform to the order of jury instructions. I think that's fair. The current order of the questions in the verdict form is as follows. Oh, they just did it. Keep reading, Emily. Keep reading. Keep reading. Keep reading. The statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. The statement has a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. The defamatory implication was designed and intended by Heard. Due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication. So that's in the jury instructions. The proposed revision is the statement was made or published by Ms. Heard. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement had a defamatory implication about Mr. Depp. The defamatory implication was designed and intended by Ms. Heard. Due to the circumstances surrounding the publication of the statement, it conveyed a defamatory implication about someone who saw it other than Mr. Depp. The statement about Mr. Depp was false. I don't know if they're going to do that. They argued jury instructions. They argued jury instructions. They argued the verdict forms. The time for this is past because they've already argued this and the jury's already been deliberating for a day and a half. Well, now 2 days, like 2 days. So this would have been properly argued when they argued the verdict forms. So I understand why they want to give this information, but I don't think there's going to be a change at this late point. If the jury has a lot of questions, they'll try to clarify it. But the jury had a question about this finding instruction yesterday about the statement is false. I mean, I don't know if the is-was difference is going to matter to the reasonable jury. And I think that this is close enough. The statement was about Mr. Depp. The statement was false. All of these have to be true. But I think there was, I don't know if it will be. You guys found it, but I don't know if it'll be a difference. They're in the same order. So I don't think that any of this is going to get changed. I think this is too late. I don't know if the judge denied these rulings. We saw them arguing over verdict forms. I don't know if the judge denied any of these rulings at the time. Why is this 23 pages long? Oh, because there's a transcript. Huh. Is this the transcript of them arguing over the Ooh, let's look at this real quick and see what there is. Here's the special verdict form that we just went over. Oh, these are all the special verdict forms. That looks like all of them. And we've already gone over those. Okay, let's look at the transcript real quick. Because it's only like 3 pages. We always learn interesting stuff from the transcripts. So let's go to that. Did I see the chat asking, did you see that Amber will be in court for the verdict? I mean, it's a choice, but she has a right to have that jury look her in the eye as they render a verdict. And am I surprised by that? Honestly, no. I'm not surprised at the choice after seeing the way that Amber Heard testified and seeing the way that she kind of stared down the jury during her testimony. I'm not surprised that she would want to be in court and be like, look me in the eyes. Not surprised at all. Not surprised at all. All right. I was just looking at Chanley Painter's Twitter. The jury only asked for 45 minutes for lunch today. Interesting. Let's get to this because I'm going to have to take a break. I'm going to have to take a little bricky break. I was hoping it would coincide with the jury's lunch because I am doing, I have an interview in New Zealand. So I've got to do a quick interview in New Zealand, and then I will be back for an afternoon stream. So we're going to move quickly, but just know that there will be a break. There will be two parts to today's Jury Watch stream. And if I don't get to super chats, I will save them and try to pull them up for the second part of the stream. All right. So just so you know, at this point, I might not get to them. Just I'm letting you know now. I'm letting you know now. The court. Okay. So you want us to change the last page if you answered yes to all the questions. Bretta Hoft to be any, the court, no, all the questions. Well, all the questions in 1, all the questions in 2, all the questions in 3. Bretta Hoft or Rottenborn, 1, 2, 4, 3. What? The court, you see what I'm saying? I can explain that to them if you want. Bretta Hoft, I think that will be helpful. The court at the end, I'll explain that to them. That means they have to answer all the questions because I think, and then Bretta Hoft, because I think it works. The court, you created the form, right? Rottenborn, yes. The court, so I'm correct, right? Rottenborn, yes, that's right. The court, I'll explain that to them. Make sure we have it right. Bretta Hoft, thank you, Your Honor. The court, did you break that too? What? Ms. Vasquez, I don't think so. It's still on. That's a good thing. Mr. Chu, keep laughing. It's my fault. What are they talking about? The court, let's make it 11:10 now. Ms. Vasquez, thank you, Your Honor. We'll come back at 11:10. Okay, 11:10. The bailiff, all rise. Recess taken. Be seated. Are we ready for the jury? Yes, Your Honor. From Bretta Hoft. All right, thanks. Closing arguments. Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Mr. Rottenborn, good morning, everyone. They're trying to convince you that Mr. Depp has carried. Oh, so this is just going to the closing. Has carried his burden of proof improving. So they were talking about the microphones. That's funny. The jury is back deliberating, according to Chanley Painter. The jury is back deliberating. All right. Yay. They're punctual. Punctual jurors. I wonder if they're trying to get done. So I think it was referring to the microphone for closing. But again, you see this judge getting along well and being cheeky, which I appreciate. Think about the message that Mr. Depp and his attorneys are sending to Amber and by extension to every victim of domestic abuse everywhere. If you don't take pictures, it didn't happen. If you did take pictures, they're fake. If you didn't tell your friends, you're lying. If you did tell your friends, they're a part of a hoax. If you didn't seek medical treatment, you weren't injured. If you did seek medical treatment, you're crazy. I don't think they ever argued that. I don't think they ever argued that. I think they were asking, look, not all victims of abuse seek medical treatment. They don't always need to. But the problem in this case is the level of injury that was described by Amber Heard doesn't make sense outside of medical treatment, especially given that she's an actress. She can't just go, recover from a broken nose or a split lip or whatever it is from injury or traumatic brain injury, because some of these things she was talking about hitting the back of her head on walls and stuff. would have required some level of medical. And to be out in the public quickly without that is concerning to me. When she's discussing her feet being sliced up real good, they're your feet. So yes, people get hit and slapped and sexually assaulted without seeking medical treatment. But in this case, the level of injury that she has reported doesn't match the photos and the testimony. So it's not that if you seek medical treatment, you're crazy. I don't even think that's fair. It's it's in this case as described on the stand. She didn't say I was slapped or he pushed me into the wall or those are not the things she said. She said, I'm worried that the bottle is broken. She said that he pummeled me with these heavy rings on. There's a reason brass knuckles are illegal. She said that my nose was broken, that he headbutted me, that he choked. The testimony and the evidence just don't match. If the testimony was different, I think my opinion on that would probably be different. But that's not what she was talking about. She was talking about being sliced up by glass. And that's where there's questions. But I think it's disingenuous to say if you seek medical treatment, you're crazy. I think that's disingenuous. Adam Campbell came in with a case site. I saw that case site go squeaking across my screen. Pauline versus Nichols holding that. During closing arguments, objection had been waived because it had not been made contemporaneously with argument. I mean, that's what I would think. Because if you don't preserve the objection, even if the judge doesn't let you argue it, if you've preserved the objection, but they didn't preserve it. I agree. I think they waived it. Thank you for the case site. I agree with you. So if you do everything that you can to help your spouse, the person that you love, rid himself of the crushing drug and alcohol abuse that spins him into an abusive, rage-filled monster, you're a nag. And if you finally decide that enough is enough, and you've had enough of the fear, enough of the pain, and you have to leave to save yourself, you're a gold digger. I think some of those are fair arguments, but I think it could have been framed with what Johnny Depp is arguing to you is that nothing Amber Heard did is enough. If she took pictures, they're fake. If she didn't take pictures, she's a liar. If she if she didn't seek medical treatment, she's not injured. If they could have framed this with Johnny Depp's side wants you to believe this about Amber Heard. They didn't have to frame it with the larger societal implications. That could have been left dangling, but you don't say the quiet part out loud. This is the message that Mr. Depp is asking you to send, but he doesn't stop there because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp. I mean, Mr. Depp kept trying to leave, it seemed, from the evidence presented. And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation. And they brought that up adequately. He said it in his text, and they should have continued to say, he said she was on a path to global humiliation, and he was going to bring it to her. I think Depp's team could have argued they knew that her global humiliation was having to actually put this evidence before the world and have the world look at the lies that she's told you. I think they could have flipped that argument too. So I think they could have flipped that argument around as well. I need to go rewatch closings before I do the podcast episode on it. Let's get to some questions. So that's the end of that. I mean, there's the rest of not the rest of the closing, but a good bit more closing here. You guys heard it. And that's a bit more of Rottenborn's closing. I don't think they preserved it. I don't think they're going to fix the forms. I think if there's more questions about the forms, they'll deal with it, but I don't know if it's a huge difference. The jury had one question about that form. I think they're trying to preserve things. I don't think the closing argument one is going to fly. I just don't like it. I don't like that closing. I like the direction they're trying to go in. I don't like that they're trying to make it, you're sending a message to everyone everywhere because it's improper argument. I think they could have stuck to Mr. Depp is telling you it's never enough. If you seek medical treatment, you're crazy. If you don't seek medical treatment, you're a liar. If you leave, you're a gold digger. If you stay, you're a nag. They could have narrowed that down. They could have narrowed that down. So if you guys, I'm just warning, if you do bring politics into the chat, you will get yeeted. This is a place to talk about case law. But I realize that when we have 106,000 people in the chat, and when it ends up on some of the pages on YouTube that tells you who's live, that then we end up with some of that. But just for fair warning, and there will be someone who will be like, Emily, what about free speech? Nope. This is a community page, and your speech is free if it adheres to the rules of the page, which is essentially don't be a dick. And we are a neutral zone. We're a purple zone here, people. We're having conversations. So there are boundaries. If we are talking about politics on this channel, you've probably come to the wrong channel, or I've been body snatched and you need to ask someone if I'm okay. Is it bad for Johnny Depp that deliberating is taking so long? I don't think it's bad for anyone that deliberation is taking so long. I honestly think that there's a lot. We went through the verdict. Oh, I should have swooped. I have questions. You have questions. We have questions. Questions. I think that the jury has a lot to work through. Did you see how many questions they have? Pages and pages and pages of questions on those special verdict forms, and they need to have discussion about all of it. And if they get stuck on a question, they need to have discussion about it. It's a lot to work through. I'm not surprised. I said at the beginning, 3 to 6 days. I started to question myself yesterday when they came back hot with that question early in the day, and I was like, maybe. But it could have been that they were just going through the jury instructions for the first time. And when you look at those jury instructions, I put them away. Also, me shouldn't have. When you look at the jury instructions, that jury instruction, that finding instruction is the first one they come to that's asking them to decide something. So that finding instruction is on page 4 of the jury instructions. So it might have been that they just started going through the jury instructions after some initial conversation. Oh, that's not really page 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6 pages in. It might have been that this is when they first came to this page. I should have looked up here, Emily. Page 6 of 38. So they might have just come to this first and had that first question as they're working through the jury instructions. So if they had gotten to page 6 by, noon-ish yesterday, then it's reasonable that it's going to take them some time to get through the rest. So let's get into some more questions. Will you consider covering the Gabby Petito civil trial? I have started covering it. I don't think there will be a trial. I have started covering the filings. There are videos on this channel about the initial filing. I believe I covered the motion to dismiss, and I will circle back. There's a lot of stuff that we covered on this channel that has just gotten put on pause for 6 weeks that has stuff going on. There's stuff going on in the Girardi case. There's stuff going on in Jen Shaw. Her case is she's getting ready to go to trial in July. Like, there's a lot else happening. We've just been kind of just doing this. We've all been focused the same direction, but I absolutely will be circling back to that. For the court filings, I don't think that case will go to trial. Kelly said, my daughter was diagnosed with ADHD, dyslexia, and autism today. We watched you together, and last night she asked if she could be a lawyer like you. Of course you can, baby. I said, yeah, baby, she could do it like you. Thank you for being an inspiration. Kelly, thank you for that. Thank you to your beautiful daughter. And yes, you can. Anything you want. And I encourage everyone to be better than me. I'm just one person, but there is so much room. I look back and I'm like, oh, if I had known more, I could have done better. And that's the point of being human. We keep growing and learn how we can do better. And I keep trying to do that. Terry said, could it be argued that the Washington Post was acting as an agent for Amber Heard in reference to the title? Sorry if it's a stupid question. Terry, say sorry for saying sorry if it's a stupid question. No stupid questions. Do not apologize for having a question. Me, when I say sorry for bumping into my wall. I've learned that that's an ADHD thing I didn't know. I say sorry for way too much. So I'm also going to say, only say sorry for saying sorry. No apologies. Not a stupid question. It was not argued in this case. There's no evidence of that in this case. They didn't go that way. They're going the republication route. And the republication route is, hey, she retweeted it with the headline. That's the republication. She's owning it. They didn't sue the Washington Post. They sued her. The Washington Post, I'm sure somebody wrote the headline. She took it on as hers. That's why they're suing over the republication. They didn't sue the Washington Post. Heard's team was completely right in pointing out they didn't sue the Washington Post. They sued her. because I think Johnny Depp is tired of suing newspapers. He's like, I want you to stop. Sherry Graff said, can you read the Jennifer Howell deposition? I will read it. I will look for it. Even though she did not testify to most of it, congrats on 600K. Yes, as we get into seeing what's going on with Verdict Watch in the coming days, I plan to dive into more of what was not known to the jury and have guests on the channel who have been following this case and the ins and outs of everything that was not known to the jury. I'm hoping to do that. I was hoping to do that after we get a verdict so that we can kind of hindsight it, but we'll see. Because I feel like, well, there's so much not known to us just in the four walls of this courtroom. There's so much not known within the four walls of the courtroom that's known external, and I do want to get into that, and we'll get into that. Michael Vandergallen, I hope I said that right. Question, I see a lot of people freaking out that the jury hasn't reached a verdict yet, but they do have 38 pages and 6 weeks of evidence. Isn't that an overreaction? Yes. How long does it usually take? As long as it takes. I gave them 3 to 6 days. I think that's really reasonable. I think the internet is not used to waiting. And I think as a whole, look, man, let's talk about me for a second. If I go on Amazon and it's like Prime overnight or like 2 days, I'm like, why is it going to take 2 days? We have gotten into a world where, even though I live kind of out in the country, we have gotten into a world where we are used to things being able to be immediate. It's like, oh, I'm traveling. I need Starbucks. I don't have time to get Starbucks and do my hair before I speak at this thing. Uber Eats can just bring it to me. We are used to a level of immediacy that we have never had before. It's like, oh, I want to watch this right now. Oh, it's on my TV. I can just watch it. Oh, I don't want to go to the movie theater. Great. It'll be on my TV. We are so used to having things easy and immediate that waiting feels like fucking torture. I am used to being able to get on my phone and answer any question like in the world that I need answered, because I can be like, hey, phone device, tell me the things. Where's my package? Where's this? Where's that? We've gotten so used to immediacy that I think it is very hard to wait. I am used to waiting for juries. I am used to waiting for them for days. I can't watch TV with commercials anymore, Destiny. I can't. I'm like, what? Why is there a commercial break? I am so used to it. I am so used to the immediacy. I'm not going to talk about whether that's good or bad for society. It's good for me when I'm like, shit, I need this tomorrow and Amazon can bring it. I love it. I love the instant gratification. I hate waiting. I am impatient. I would have failed all of those tests they do with kids where they're like, look, you can either have these 3 jelly beans now, or if you wait, you can have like these 10 jelly beans later. I would have failed that immediately, like immediately. Also ADHD, impulsivity, but we are not used to waiting. We're just not used to waiting anymore. We don't have to. We don't have to wait for an answer. My kid doesn't even have to wait for scores on a test. Like they're in his like school program thing like that day. They're just there. Waiting for the bar exam was probably the worst waiting for me. And I wonder if they make you wait so long to teach you how to wait. I feel like in law, there's a lot of hurry up and wait, and just a lot of hurry up and wait. Hurry up and wait for judges, hurry up and wait for verdicts, hurry up and wait for whatever it is. I think there's a lot of hurry up and wait in law. And like, oh, when's the next thing coming? We don't know. When we're following cases motion by motion, when is the next thing coming? We don't always know. And it's like, what's going to happen next? Which is why I love following cases in the trial court, because we never know what's going to happen next. There might be another motion. There might be a motion that we didn't even anticipate. There might be a motion filed that was outlawed, 10 years before, that you can't even file. That got filed, and then we're going to talk about it. You never know what's going to happen. It's wild and unpredictable and fun. But with waiting for a jury, it's hard. The California bar, and this might have changed since I took it, but I took it ages ago because it's old. The California bar exam was in July. So I took it in July. It was like the week after 4th of July, somewhere there after July. It could have been later in July, but anyway, in July, after 4th of July. We got our bar results on whether we had passed or failed the bar the Friday before Thanksgiving in November. July, to Thanksgiving. And depending on what you're doing for a living, you can't always get hired if you don't have bar results while you're waiting to bar pass. Some firms do, but not with the DA's office. They don't hire till you're bar passed because they can't get rid of you if you don't pass. Very hard to get rid of you. So I was working as a research attorney because that's something I could do without pending results and waiting. And I just couldn't. July to November, and the balance of your future is hanging. Because if you don't pass, you have to take it again. You have to start studying again and take it again. And for me, I wanted the one job I wanted. Hyper-focused much. I wanted to be a district attorney. So I had to pass the bar before I could even start that process to interview because I needed my bar results. So it feels like your entire life is just hanging in the balance. And you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, and your life is hanging in the balance. There is nothing that was more rage-inducing. TC, congratulations on passing the bar this morning. Cheers. In California, you couldn't get on the website until 6 p.m. I've told this story. I think I told this story when we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I cried when I told it. But the website where you got the results, again, this was 2005, kept crashing. So it was like trying to refresh. And my husband and I had tried to do something to distract for the day. So we went to Disneyland. But at the time, there was like no internet, and I couldn't like hotspot my phone because 2005. So I had to take my laptop to Starbucks to get bar results. I didn't trust anyone else to look at my bar results because in California at the time, it said this name is on the pass list or this name is not on the pass list. And so the difference between is and is not, again, dyslexic, we pinged. I was very nervous about the is not. And so I was like, so I'm looking at the website. By the time it logged on, I'm getting AIM messages from some of my friends who had not passed. So I'm getting AIM messages that my friends had not passed. I am trying to refresh this website that's crashing, and I'm sitting in a Starbucks. And at that point, I am starting to cry out of sheer stress and panic and overwhelm. And I'd been at Disney all day, and I was panicking. And my husband is like rubbing my back, and he's like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, finally get the website refreshed. My bar results come up, and I burst into tears, and I can't read the screen. Cannot read the screen. Can't read if it says this name is on the pass list or this name is not on the pass list. Can't read the screen. And my husband's like, you passed. And then I just burst into tears more. And then someone walked up to the table and was like, are you okay? Because at this point, I have lost all of my shit. And my husband's like, she just passed the California bar exam. And the wonderful woman standing in front of us is like, oh my God, I'm an attorney. Congratulations. And then like bought us like a brownie or something at Starbucks. The staff at Starbucks had a beautiful plate, like a serving plate, and wrote on chocolate, congratulations. Didn't have a cell phone to take a picture of anything I wish I had a picture of in my life. It was this amazing crew at Starbucks writing congratulations on this beautiful plate with like a Starbucks brownie on it that completely made my day. And then people gave me Starbucks gift cards that were just in line that were so like, oh my God, I'm a part of this moment. This is like a whole ass moment. It was a whole ass moment at like 6:30 at night in a Starbucks in Anaheim near Disneyland. And it was the amount of generosity. People were like, ah, and I was like, I can't. So then I tried to call my mother. Oh yeah, my love for Starbucks goes way back. It's where I studied for the bar. It's where I studied for promotional exams. I mean, the fact that there wasn't Starbucks at my wedding is because of my husband. So I lost my mind, all of my mind. And I tried to call my mom and I couldn't get words out. And my mom's like, it's okay. You're going to be okay. Cause I think when my mom heard me calling sobbing, that she just assumed I didn't pass because that's the logical assumption. And I was just trying to like hand the phone to my husband. I was like, and I don't even remember what phone I had in 2005, some kind of basic cell phone. It was just. So with that, that is my memory of having to wait the longest wait in my life. Waiting for jury verdicts feels almost the same. but you can't burst out into tears when the verdict comes back because you'll get yelled at, or at least I got yelled at by the judge. There was once, and I had to, after hugging the victims and hugging their family and hugging everyone, like walking into the bathroom in the back, trying to be like pulling tears back in and waiting till I got home to like let it out. But it just. So that was my passing the bar story. Former assistant DA in Texas, same with us in the bar. The wait's horrendous. I'm also over 40. You're my legal spirit sister. Love you. Amber, thank you, my sister-in-law. I appreciate that. And yes, it is. The wait is horrendous. I think it prepares you for all of the waiting that happens in a legal career because there's a lot of it. Question, I see a lot of people freaking out. So Michael, thank you for that question because that got us to where we're at. I'm going to have to speed run a few before I have to take a quick break because where am I going to be? I am going to be, for any of you in New Zealand, I think it's morning in New Zealand. I'm going to be there quickly. So I will be there quickly. Jennifer, a bit of a fun one for this case specifically. Would you rather have been the judge, one of the lawyers, either side, a juror, or the audience? I would rather be the streamer. I want to do what I'm doing. I loved doing what I'm doing. I pull faces. I make noises. I have reactions. It would have been completely inappropriate had I been on a jury to do any of that. I wanted to do this. If I had to pick one of the others, I would love to be the judge only because I want to know all the chisme. Like I want to know all the rulings and all the tea. But I really don't want to be a judge unless it's like influencer court. Like Judge Judy for influencers and pop culture, I would do that. But not like actual day-to-day, like super significant stuff. Being a judge was never really on my radar. I liked being an advocate. And now I like being streamer. Shout out to my mom, Patsy, who turned me on to you. Hey, Patsy, Lucy's mom. How do you think the UK-US law differs? Oh gosh, I don't know enough about UK law to know, but I think that in this case, particularly the case being decided by a jury versus being decided by a judge is a huge difference. So thank you, Madison. That's tremendously kind. Look at how gorgeous your profile picture is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Did I say pain? If I said pine, I'm sorry. My brain is mush. Sorry if you answer this. I'm physically disabled and have a service dog. Want to go to law school. Is that possible? Of course it's possible. Anything is possible. The law needs all. I would talk to the law schools near you and make sure that you find a school that is deserving of you and that will work with you. So yes, absolutely possible. There is no reason why being physically disabled would limit you in law. And there are so many technological options for you to make it work and so many accommodations under law that you are entitled to. Absolutely, absolutely, you can make it work. I would talk to the law schools near you to figure out how to make it work. John said, I'm gay and have been cut out of my family because of it. John, you're part of the Law Nerd family. We've got you. I wish I had you in a community like this when I was younger and struggling. Thank you for the kind words. Keep doing what you're doing. Your positivity has attracted all of this kindness and support. John, I'm sorry for that. I can't imagine turning on a family member, and I'm sorry that happened to you. And I hope that you have found your chosen family, and the Law Nerds are always here to be a chosen family. Dear Emily, I wish you guys took our cases in India. We're around 2K people fighting a case against the Indian government over land ownership since the last 30 years. And believe me, it's appalling. I have loved U.S. justice system through you. Thank you. Thank you, AA. I wish I knew enough about the system to actually lend any help or voice. I just don't know the system. That sounds like a very long battle. And battling government over land is a struggle. Can the jury hang on Johnny Depp's claim but decide on Amber Heard's? Yes. The jury could hang on, let's talk about hangs for a minute. The jury could hang on one cause of action. The jury could hang on all of them. The jury could decide most. The jury could just hang on damages. There's a lot of decisions this jury has to make, and any hiccup in the road can be a problem. KA said, you're really great covering law stuff and simply being yourself, and encourage people to do the same. That's my hope. Thank you. I feel very seen. Through your TED Talk as well. I've learned a lot since I gave that talk in 2017, and hopefully one day I'll get to do a part 2 of that TED Talk because I've learned a lot, and I think there was a lot of growth that happened after it. That TED Talk started as like, this is my hypothesis, really. This is what I'm trying to do. And now from 2017 to 2022, I've definitely fine-tuned what it means to live that. And Yeah, I hope there's a part 2. If not, we'll put it in a book or a podcast or some shit. Life with Gigi. What happens after the verdict? Can the jury talk about it with people? Yes, they can. They can talk about it with whoever they like. The media can't find them, but they can find the media if they like. So I love your channel. I was shown the channel because of the Depp Heard trial, and I am now addicted. Well, welcome, Helen. I think you're easy and relatable. Thank you. Just me, girl with a mic. A nice reprieve from the rest of my day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, Emily, I made it to North Carolina. So hot and humid here on the East Coast. We are on baby watch for my 3rd granddaughter. Congratulations. I'm a mirror ball and praying the verdict will come first. Is that twisted? I love that it's like baby or verdict, baby or verdict, baby or verdict. Both things are unpredictable and come when they are ready to come. Verdicts will be decided when they are ready. Children will arrive when they are ready. It is one of those things. One of those waiting for babies is a whole other thing. But it's a lot of fun. Paulette, well, it was more fun for me when it wasn't me. Like it was way more fun when it was other people's babies. It was very nerve-wracking when it was me. Paulette, why are they saying that Johnny Depp performing in the UK is bad press that can impact the jury's decision? They aren't permitted the news and research, right? You are absolutely correct. You are right. Don't let anyone tell you you're wrong. Whether they think it's bad press or not is a matter of opinion, I suppose, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but it can't impact the jury's decision. And even if the jury comes out, with a verdict and doesn't see Johnny Depp there, it's not like they can go back and be like, hey, fuck, that guy's not even here. Let's go change our mind. So if JD is awarded the $50 million, does Amber Heard have the money to pay it? I have no idea. And we'll talk, when I come back later today, because I'm going to have to take a break in just a minute. When I come back later today, we can talk about collections and what that looks like and how that's done. And just like if anybody wins money, what happens then? Because then it starts a whole new process. Buster Brown, I feel like early lunch might mean verdict when they get back, or at least today. I hope so too. Congratulations on 600. You are more than worthy. Well, thank you. I don't always feel that way, but I appreciate the kind words. It's been absolutely amazing. And the subscriber numbers show me how much impact we're having as a Law Nerd community. I look at this is over 600,000 people that are like, yes, let's have this conversation. I have got to go. So for those of you whose super chats I missed, I apologize. I have got to scoot. I will be back in not that long. I've got to go do a pre-scheduled obligation. Christy says, I wear a size 12 women's men's shoe. I feel so seen. Love you and your channel. And I'm so happy so many folks are finally discovering your awesomeness. You are welcome. Thank you. I wear men's shoes. Swoop did a lovely breakdown of the evidence. I will go check it out. Swoop has been a great supporter of the channel and enjoy their content. Made it to NC. There we go. Y'all, if I missed your super chat, I absolutely apologize. Tracy, you're not, well, it's never too late to become a lawyer. We will talk about that when I come back. I'm always okay with fan art. Thank you. Kristen Smart Trial is on my list. All right, you guys, unfortunately, I've got to go. I appreciate you, Law Nerds. I will be back. I'm going to populate another stream. I will share it on social. If you are in the text crew, be in the text crew, and I will see you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're in New Zealand, I will be coming across your airwaves very, very shortly. All right. And then we're still on verdict watch. So connect with me everywhere. I'm at the Emily D. Baker. If you guys want to join the text, just text Emily.com. If you want to join the channel, lawnerdsunite.com. Happy to have you. Support what we do here on the YouTube. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me tell Miguelina, I have got to